Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to URU. So, we've had to been on the walkthrough path to get to this point for quite a while now, and we're at the halfway point. So now is kind of a good point to, since we're in a new area, to try and stay away from the walkthrough if we can and just try to play the game normally, although frankly, I think using the walkthrough arguably is the normal solution for most people. We are in the world with the giant trees. We've made it into a giant spiral staircase building. This looks a lot like one of the solutions in Myst 3 Exiles where we were up in the air and we looked down and we saw a symbol. Remember in Myst 3 Exiles there were those code symbols that then there was a scanner. There has been absolutely no codes or symbols like that at all in URU. If anything, that would probably be in the key system instead. And it feels like there could have definitely been room for reusing things. These lights seem to just be electric lights. Although, there is weirdness in the fact that it feels to me like the electronics in this world are not really electronics, that there's not actually a wiring inside of things and electricity flowing through them or anything like that. It feels to me like it very much may be a case of there being buttons and switches that just are magically detected and everything is run by some form of magic. Alright. Like, you really can't even look directly up. So, it feels like there's going to be a light projection. Then here we have a door that's just a flat door texture with no handle. And boy, does this not really feel like that should be in this world, or probably in this game at all. There could be a journey cloth or two that we missed. Totally believable if, say, you needed to do something like jump over here on the edge or jump off the edge and get over there. Right, we've got several buttons to press. So this is just a straight up light puzzle. We've not done as many of these stained glass puzzles as you might think. Now we were in the temple area and we did see something that was kind of like a lightning zigzag. I would say it kind of looks like there might be a goal here to have the lightning zigzag show up. So well, that made a different sound effect. So let's see, let's bring up this and let's see, come back here to the pictures. This probably is what we're trying to do. If not, I don't know. Like, could this be the solution? Could any of these others be the solution? I don't think so. Yeah, does feel kind of pointless to have all these abilities. I don't know if perhaps we're only trying to get the lightning zigzag section lit up, or if we're trying to get it unlit and everything else lit. I feel like one of those would be easier to do than the other. And it feels like you can really just rough eyeball this, and it's kind of all you can do. Feels like that one might be one, so we'll have to come back to the middle one. Is that adding, helping, or hurting? I feel like that's helping. I feel like that one helps too. So there might be some redundancy. Well, I think my commitment to trying to not use the walkthrough kind of falls apart at this point. Sure, you could play with this. Like, no denying you could play with this and spend an hour trying to figure it out. Trying to figure out if something is, if that's even the symbol you're supposed to be doing. Which, that's part of the big if there, I suppose, is this the symbol that I'm even supposed to be doing? The symbol I'm supposed to be doing? Or is this perhaps just more simpler than it seems, and perhaps I'm supposed to just turn on one of these things and only one of these things? Or one or two of these things. No, only one or two of the things. There's these, I imagine, aren't supposed to have overlaps. See, that looks very, very close to it. Let's run over here and see if this angle, or what angle is the best angle to really see this at. So yeah, we are very close. And I think it's going to come down to that one doesn't help. Oh, are we supposed to walk the lit up path when everything is said and done? Definitely think that's part of the solution. And that doesn't seem like that's part of the solution, unless there's some alternating stuff that happens here. Let's turn this on. And then see if maybe one of these toggles something. Instead of just lighting up more. No, it doesn't seem like it does toggle. What if we turned everything the opposite and see what happens there? Maybe it's supposed to be a negative image. Suppose that's worth trying. Yeah, that doesn't seem like that worked. Okay. Let's turn everything off. And let's use the walkthrough. It's not worth the time to meddle with this. Trying over and over again. When it's very possible that even the door already unlocked and we just didn't know it because we didn't go down there and check the door. Which again really puts this game in the way it's designed. It only makes sense if multiple people were playing at the same time and somebody was just checking the door after every single combination, and there were just 5 people at each of these buttons pressing the buttons over and over again in order, and probably you would need somebody directing the whole thing. Let's see. So back to the walkthrough. Let's see. 2, 3, and 5. So the solution should be this. This. And this. Which that does make a bit more of a pattern than what I had managed to do. And then we will walk this path. And I don't think this is what we're supposed to be doing alone. Nope. I think the walkthrough was talking about a red illuminated panel somewhere. Where is a red illuminated panel? Let's see, it's walk to the center of the room following the unlit path. Walk to the point on the wall that matches the red dot in the illuminated panel. So literally there's a secret thing where this red dot is. Okay. So that would mean that yeah, there's no way you would have been able to solve this. So we're looking at this from this perspective, and over here is just a straight up secret panel somewhere in this wall. There's like nothing to click on. This is insanity. Let me double check. Yeah. So either there's something here to click on, or there's something to click on higher up. I guess we probably are in a decent position because the spiral staircase only spirals once. So somewhere around here in the wall. Honestly, this is kind of the worst kind of game to just have a text-based walkthrough, and you would be better off just using a video walkthrough, because yeah. Walk down and around to the point of the wall that matches the red dot. Remember the words in the book in Real 2. To find which is hidden, walk to the center of the room, following the unlit path. When you get to the center of the floor, it will fall away and reveal an exit. Okay. So this was something that would have had to have been in one of the books that you would have had to read. So it literally wants you not to walk on the lit path, but it wants you to start here and then walk following this path. Which then lowers that whole section down the stairs. This is a cool idea by all means. That's really cool to see, but also rather sucky that that door was nothing but a painted on wall, I suppose. And we've once again locked ourselves out. Why there are buttons that can that reset it, I don't know. Particularly in this case, because it didn't reveal a journey map. No cloth map. It's just water, and we're back into the forested tree area. This world obviously not very finished. It's pretty obvious. But we did finally get out of this super dense forest, and now we can see a nice little skybox for half a second. Can't say I hate it, but I do want to double check and just look behind me, make sure I didn't find any journey, didn't miss anything. Wasn't like a journey map over here, was there? Perhaps being a little too paranoid here, looking for things, but I'm trying not to use the walkthrough. You're seeing how well that is working. without having to read every single book and have every single word in every single book be fresh in your mind. This is nice that it's another sky world from the looks of it. Another mist world. But yeah. Don't fall to your death. Maybe not trying to make that jump yet. Probably you're going to have to try and make that jump at some point. Yep, little fireflies flying around. It really is just not reasonable that you would be able to solve any of these puzzles. Abduction didn't really have any puzzles like this, and that was my criticism of their Cyan's most recent game, Abduction, is that there kind of was nothing like this. There was a little bit of manipulation of pathways and passages, a little bit of unlocking doors, but that was kind of it. We have like a glowing stone. Wasn't really expecting a glowing stone with a giant sphere on top of it. Where I'd say URU is the epitome of doing it the wrong way, in the sense that it is just kind of constantly showing more and more stuff that doesn't really make sense, or there's just kind of a giant world with some hint towards a solution that could be in a different age, thousands of steps away, thousands of feet away from where you would have seen it. Here we have almost like a maze pattern, but I don't know what the point of that maze pattern is, so we should take a picture of it. I kind of wish that the key, since it's not super helpful, would just often decide to take a screenshot and disappear when I hit the F5 button. I don't think it needs to stay up. I also feel like the key is still really acting kind of as a poor equivalent of what it should be, considering how that central location marker function seems to not work at all. I don't know if maybe it was supposed to be like a buddy recognition system or what, but it doesn't really work well that way. I could see how this might be something to say, hey, your friends are this direction, but then in URU Complete Collection, since that's a single player version of this game, that doesn't make sense. Alright. So I think we've got a straight up Indiana Jones situation here. These don't seem like these are going to be doors that open. At least not initially. And they don't seem like they're controlled by the key. And we have square symbols and circular symbols all around here. So, I know what this is, like, but I think I'll probably use a walkthrough anyways, because it's not really worth the time. The problem here is that it requires you to know the Riven numbering system, which I guess the Riven numbering system probably you could assume is the deny numbering system. If you knew all of this, then the solution is probably fairly obvious. Whichever number here, you then would want to do the 3 symbols there for 1, and that probably would unlock door 1. If not, then let you unlock some other doors. But totally not worth your time. Just totally not worth your time. So, blah blah blah, walk down the stairs and out the room, up the stairs and out to the tranquil lake. I picked up a firefly here, which became my friend for a while, according to the walkthrough. More trees here. Go to the left and jump to the platform on the other side of the gap. Pick up the Real 2 page and return. Up the stairs and now face the pyramid. Round to the right of the is the 4th journey cloth. I don't think we've found 4 journey cloths, so I've missed one probably. No, maybe we haven't. Let's see. There's a panel on the gallery shows a tree above a pyramid. Another clue perhaps. If you look down, you see a lot of tree icons. You need to make a path from the tree to the right all the way to the tree on the far right. There are 10 tiles in all. If you follow the correct path, the last tile falls away, taking you deep beneath the surface. Okay. Also, when it takes you down, you have to jump off the elevator fairly quickly. So I can't do this at the moment because it will take me somewhere else. It seems like this world has a bit of a fetish of making us let's see. Yeah, I guess the firefly probably just decides to follow you or not. The game seems to have a bit of a fetish of making you fall downward. In this area, or solve puzzles that makes it seem like you would go through a door and then instead you go downward, which sure, that's an interesting gag the first time you do it, but we've kind of already seen that gag. I would argue, oops, is that way up from here? Nope, I think we're doomed. Like, I would definitely argue that even the first Myst game, or at least Real Myst, Masterpiece Edition, whatever the most recent iteration of Myst is, I would definitely try to make the argument that that game is not quite as empty as this world is. The little toys and things to play with, we're kind of missing that. See, we should be seeing some trees somewhere, unless it's those little trees there. I don't know. Like, those trees were always there. So if I hit F3, yeah, we have symbols of a volcano and clouds. So I guess maybe we made the skybox and the clouds a little bit more volcano-y, or something else. Maybe this volcano and cloud symbol doesn't work unless other things are turned off. Let's turn that off. Turn that off. Turn the trees on. Turn that off. Does that immediately change the world? No. So he has an idea. What if we were to teleport to Real 2 from Real 2? No problem with that. We lost our little land bridge. We lost the things there. But yeah. So whatever this is, doesn't seem to be noticeable per se. Maybe this little tree changes something. So I don't think though there's any secrets. That's kind of the problem here, is that even if we found all of these things and there was some kind of combination lock that would open something, I don't think there actually is any major secrets in the Real 2 hub island world, unlike Myst. If anything, that would have been one of the gags that the game should have repeated from the first game, is the idea that there's a lot more to the original island than it seems. But that kind of doesn't happen. Alright, so I need to find, and if I can get the image to look, we need to use a tree path, and so we need to see where the tree path starts. I don't see any trees. Yeah, I think it's probably on the other side. And maybe if you went backwards, it would work, but I doubt it. Yeah, there's no like trees. Let's look here. Get a higher perspective. The symbols I'm looking for are supposed to be the tree symbols. I don't see any tree symbols. So does this whole thing reset? Open up this image bigger, I suppose. That would be helpful. Maybe I'm missing a step. See. Round to the right for the fourth journey cloth. Enter the pyramid and stand in the center of the floor. Pause as the lights come on and climb the steps to the balcony. Press the blue button and the floor tiles light up with all sorts of image. There was a panel in the gallery that showed a tree above a pyramid. Another clue. If you look down, you'll see a lot of tree icons. You need to make a path all the way over to the tree on the far side. There are 10 tiles in all. If you follow the correct path, It'll take you deep beneath the surface. I am seeing an image that looks very, very different from what is being shown. First of all, these are not blue, so maybe I need to hit the button again. Maybe that's part of the problem. Ah, oh, okay. That explains a lot. It didn't activate. Okay. So it's fairly obvious that the tree solution would be the tree solution, considering how this is the tree world. We've got a lot of glitchy textures being shown. So next question, yeah, is do we go here, then here, then here? So now I just need to figure out which way I'm going to jump off, whether it's forward or backwards. Interesting. Ah, it did. It gave you enough time. Yeah, so the same gimmick done twice. You could argue that maybe you were supposed to learn the first time that that was going to be the solution, and then repeat it for this next puzzle. But it doesn't really feel like it's iterative as much as it's just repetition, because that's really all it feels like, is just repetition. Is that going to go back up? Yeah. So, yeah, there's some slight awkwardness there. Definitely some slight weirdness as far as having to hit the blue button to do that. And we are right on track with getting the last couple of handprints. As long as we just keep on following walkthroughs instead of bothering to spend our own effort on things. We haven't seen a borrow linking page. I find that a little weird. Feels like there should be one. This feels like some kind of counterbalance puzzle. That was a weird sound effect. We're seeing like visual glitching and flickering all the way over there. Okay. This button does what? Absolutely nothing. Let's give this the old college try. Well, that looks interesting. I guess we're making a platform all the way up there. And each of these platforms seem to raise something. Of course, that first platform confused the issue quite a bit. So you're pulling these levers. You know, what would have really helped is if there was just a mirror. Like, that would have probably been perfectly acceptable, just to be able to look up and see that these platforms are moving up in their own position. Okay. I guess I'm just trying to keep everything balanced. See, if these counterweights are moving, they're moving fairly slow. And I would say that they're probably not... They're not the right color is part of the problem. It's like, these counterweights should be bright golden, shiny as all get out, to show that they are something to pay attention to, and they just aren't. So yeah, we can see some counterweights are definitely going to hit the bottom. And it feels like the solution to this is actually going to be pretty dumb. Yeah. It really feels like what we're going to probably have to do is simply make use of our ability to jump, which is not a focus in most of the other Myst games, and just make one platform high enough that we can just jump to the next platform. Either that, or we don't do the third one at all. Right. Well, I wanted to jump down and try and save myself some time, but it doesn't seem like that's going to work. Yeah, it seems fairly certain and fairly obvious that the solution here is to not to do the third one so tall, or you know, you kind of maybe don't need to do even the second one so tall. Anything, depending on how far the ladders go, that would be the only thing that really changes this puzzle. You could just have the back path completely high to the maximum, and then the other three paths completely at the bottom, if the ladder actually just goes all the way up. Unless there's some other element to this that's not being shown. So let's just see what the walkthrough has to say. See, 4 levers, a hexagon, pillars on the floor, 4 massive counterweights in the wall. There's a blue reset button in the doorway, way up at the rear wall. The job is to get the doorway. If you play with the levers, you'll discover you have 8 pulls before the counterweights react to it. And so their solution is to pull this one 4 times. That's 1. See, you're getting punished by having to watch the animation now. Like, there's no click the button, skip it, and just move forward. And we've seen that in some of the other puzzles where you can just kind of click and it will just jump ahead. But you definitely don't have that as an option here. We can see that this is the ladder only goes a couple of times, so you couldn't just do this and climb up. I'll have to make sure to count. This is the third time, right? Let's do this one more time. Hopefully we didn't screw this up. Yeah. Okay, I think that's the solution. Yeah, it kind of does go to show that, like, playing with this in this room might have been interesting if it was visually designed a little bit more. It'd be nice if there were kind of multiple solutions for some of these puzzles, or at least some item to collect. Take note, we really haven't found a new outfit or anything in quite a while. Some kind of reward for failure, some kind of undo button to not have to simply reset the whole thing. They are obviously trying to make the game more difficult than it needs to be, particularly in a remake of this game. Like, if you're going to just not change everything and just make a whole new game called URU, you would have to use the same puzzles. The puzzles would obviously have walkthrough solutions. You could change the puzzles a little bit or randomize the puzzles a little bit. I don't know if that adds a lot of value, but you would want to just speed up the process and make it a better experience for modern gameplay. And now we go down deeper, deeper, and deeper. We keep going. To what? We don't know. Like, do we... At the end of the door, we'll find... At the end of the day, we'll find a final journey cloth and then the hand door. But that's not going to be something that connects or relates to this world in this age. What you would expect to see is something along the line of a large lake to feed the trees, some water, something. Yeah, I'm confused. I feel like I should find a borrow stone to just tell me the exit at this point. The next bit needs the illuminated panel from the gallery. In the panel, the 4 counterweights were colored red, white, green, and blue. We can, I believe, bring up that image. Let's see. Here we are. There were 12 colored images around the outside, 3 for each counterweight, and each one with a corresponding number. Red was 2, 3, 4, white was 1, 2, 3, green was 2, 3, 4, and blue is 1, 3, 4. The missing numbers were red 1, white 4, green 1, blue 2. Press the blue button to reset the mechanism. So there's a whole second combination here. Wow. So I guess that is giving you kind of what you want. What I was asking for. But here's what I would say. When you solve the puzzle the first time and open that door, why not turn on some lights that light these up as red, green, blue? Or to give a bit of a hint, or shake off the rust on these so that it's obvious they are colored. It's supposed to be for that color puzzle. It's weird to have you walk in circles, come back to this, and then just assume that the player knows that they're supposed to solve a second puzzle here. Which I guess maybe this is going to make a stairway down, although seems like you could probably jump down if there was a doorway anyway, so maybe there will be a secret panel that just opens here. So I have, again, no desire to try and figure out the solution. So you push the blue button to reset the mechanism. It says push this one once. And then wait. It says pull this 4 times. And then wait. I wonder if you can pull these levers after you've used all the counterweights. 3. Because that would be a great way to have a secondary puzzle in this, is to make it seem like you can't do anything more when there really is something you can do with this. 4. And then this once. And then this twice. And here we've got a cutscene. A cutscene that's not showing me anything at the moment. So when we didn't see a cutscene of the door open before, that was just because they didn't animate it. Like, that's all that you can really say there, is that they totally should have animated the exit, the cutscene when we opened the, for lack of the dials. Yeah, it says that there's like a door to the right. I don't see a door down here to the right. Let me make sure I'm not getting my right and left confused. Nope. So now that you can go up here, we can see this, and I guess it probably doesn't hurt to just checkpoint back here. We have one more journey cloth. There's no like lever over here, is there? Or am I supposed to climb up the middle? Because I don't think there's supposed to just be a jump downward. That'd be kind of crazy. Alright, let me go back and check and see what I'm supposed to be doing. It says, Go around to the left and up the stairs. Look down at the panel. You'll see 6 buttons and 24 icons matching those you saw in the gallery. Your first task is to work out the order and to press a button if you need it. Or if you're hopelessly lost, here's the solution. Here, what panel? What panel? What panel? I don't see a panel. I don't see anything over here either. So I've misread something here. Let's see. All sorts of things happen now. Climb up and up some more and leave this grotto. Walk forwards to a massive chasm. Okay. I see what I missed there. Is we simply aren't in the right place. I suppose this would have been the thing that I would have done next anyways, before I decided to just jump wildly into the void. When you're climbing, it would have been nice if the mouse cursor automatically disappears a lot faster than just the fade out that it does when you leave it on the screen long enough. I almost fell off. The game is still really dark. Like, I guess you could turn the brightness up, and I imagine that might be a good suggestion, is to turn the brightness up in this game. There's really never a point where the moody atmospheric darkness of a lot of these worlds makes more sense than the ability to have things that you actually have to interact with pop out. Better modern game design would almost certainly have this. I'm gonna constantly trap myself at this rate. Oops. Well, thank goodness that didn't just wreck me and have me fall through the ground, because that would have sucked to have to press that, put in the whole code combination. But clearly there isn't a trick there either. Here we've got a giant cube being held up by ropes, where a lot of other things feel like they would probably just be fine to float in the air, and seems like nothing else. Big areas to show off big designs. But I think it's fair to say that Cyan really dropped the ball on sweating the small stuff. Like, while we see all of this, and it's nice and impressive, there's the hand door down that direction, so we'll have to jump down there. It's really, really empty. Really basic ground textures. Empty of people, empty of details, empty of anything of real interest. So it seems like you probably could play with this and rotate the 4 symbols as in and out to try and find a solution. It's probably fairly described in the temple area. Let's see if we go back to, like, this probably is not the solution. I don't know what that is a solution to, actually. We've used that one. I think these are cubes, so each one of these would have had 4 symbols. And I think I may have only taken 3 pictures instead of 4, stupidly. So, yeah, this is probably the solution again. So you're trying to, like, learn this whole tree language in the same way that you had to learn the design numbering system in Riven. I think that is probably something that would have been a burdenous to the Myst series as it went forward. Also, the idea that you would have to know 3 or 4 languages, numbering systems, and such, it's just asking quite a bit. And I think probably the real hardcore Myst fans probably do know 2 or 3 numbering systems and languages, and that's not something that an average person could be asked to do this. So I think this is probably the deny symbol for 1, and the solution is 1. So click it. And then it's not even that difficult of a puzzle, is it? Because you can only click them once. So 1, 5, 2, 3, 4, and then 6. This is definitely proof, though, that we've just kind of given up. Like, I didn't even try that. I didn't even give it a second, a full attempt. We've got a lot of URU still to do, however, with the expansion, so I am at a point where I do want just an accelerated experience. And so this is like a treasure room, which we did see treasure rooms in Riven. A treasure / storage room. But we haven't really seen anything like a treasure room in a while. So is this the corpse of one of the kings? I mean, this isn't even written in English. So you would have to be able to read this whole language. And you can't take pictures of text at all. You can't steal his coat or his boots or anything as a costume, which feels like that would have been nice. A lot of this gold and stuff looks like it's just straight up asset flips, for lack of a better term. Here you have a throne. This looks a lot like the throne in Myst 1. Here you have a bunch of red pages, or something that looks like red pages. You have a couple of shields. But is there any value in any of this, really? No. Absolutely not. Now, if I close this door on myself, I might lock myself in permanently. If anything, it seems like the lesson to learn in this world is that if you press a button, you will lock yourself in and shut the door on yourself. What does that really do for you? Doesn't seem like it does anything. Yeah, it seems like maybe these buttons don't actually lock the doors. They seem to go both ways. They're just not lit up, which is unintuitive. It seems like it should be lit up to show that it's powered. So let me just double check. Go inside, note the skeleton, climb on the crates to reach the last journey cloth near the crate. Is a linking book back to the gallery. So where does this go? No, I'm going to click on it. Oh, so this is a deny recovery council approved book, as if so it got stamped as approved to take you back to the temple / gallery. So somebody made it all the way here and didn't really learn the lessons of the journey cloth. Or perhaps more accurately, it's possible that a lot of these journey cloths were not here at all until you showed up. So it seems like the daughter of Atrus is specifically putting you on a journey, not just every person in the Deny Recovery Council on the same journey. These jumps are awkward, to say the least. That was the last one. So now we have to do yet another annoying jump. Although this jump may not be so bad. To get the third totem. Which, with any luck, if we just continue to stick with the walkthrough, we will be done with the first part of the game. All of the main URU section. Possibly in the next recording. I don't want to overpromise there. It's just forward and jump. Maybe didn't need to jump. So, yep, prepare for more dialogue. You can definitely feel why people would have been specifically not happy with the first part of the game without the expansions, too. There's very little.
You return again. Return to hear more. Return for a third pillar.
Interesting.
It's an interesting cycle, this coming and going, giving and taking.
It wasn't showing
Returning
me.
is what you must do. For you have torn in half the very being of one of the least. You have heard their pain. Don't falter. The bones of Guildmaster Kadish speak louder than words. His bones are the bones of Denis. He clung to the teachings of good King Negan, who required good citizens to cling to their treasure. This Kadish you have seen would not give back, would not return, would not let go. He had long been one of the wealthiest of the Denis, owning more than he could possibly make use of. He built ages to protect the extra, and when the fall came, he clung to his possessions over all else. And so you see only death in his vault. Extravagant death. It is an image of Denis. The people of Denis didn't return easily. They only would take until all was taken from them in the Great Returning, the fall that destroyed them. Denis fell only a few hundred years ago. All of it was removed. And my journey was similar. I could write things that no Denis had ever dreamed of. My writing smashed barriers held as absolutes for millennia. I could change things, I could move things. I could control things. I learned beyond my parents, I learned beyond all. I wrote ages against any challengers, masters of the art, and they were beaten. I took all that I could hold. Only death can conquer pride so strong. For the Denis and for Yeesha, it was death that moved me to return. All died. All but the least. The unproud. The Bahro considered themselves as dead already. And so they continued to watch Denis, always ready to give more away. And now they will return.
So, I guess Yeesha, the daughter of Atrus, might be dead, and these might just be like recordings, I suppose. You could take that as the case. And it feels like had they not gone with 4, but had they had 7 of these, that would have been a much bigger game. Had they not just been in development hell for so long, then you could have done the 7 deadly sins, because clearly this story was designed around the idea of greed, although the world that we ran through wasn't particularly that opulent. It really feels like if that was the theme from the second we linked into that age, it should have just been gold everywhere. Gold on top of gold on top of gold on top of rubies and gems. It should have had that feeling, and it really didn't, and that makes that world feel much closer to a nature world than anything else. If they were going to do the 7 deadly sins, well then there definitely could have been pride. One of these pretty much definitely would have been pride. There definitely could have been greed. Would have been weird to throw in something like lust, but I would be interested to see how Cyan could try and have a kind of Persian style world where there's just a lot of silk, and then there's just like a lot of images of like women carved on the walls and men on the walls, a lot of frescoes and things like that, a lot of statues of like marble characters. If you're going to remake the game, that would be something very different. We don't see any statues of humans at all, so for all we know, the citizens of Denis look a lot more like this than anything else, and that looks very alien. So that would be weird. Gluttony, again, interesting idea. An entire planet with just full of fruit, full of bowls, full of food, full of flowing water and wine, and an entire skybox of like wheat and grapes and things like that growing. There definitely could be some thematic ideas, and it's not unheard of by any means for a game to somewhat base itself around the 7 deadly sins. It's a decent concept thematically to use. It's often done pretty poorly, but it at least gives you a general direction, where I would argue a lot of the story, starting with URU, does just go completely off the rails. Like, it really doesn't make it. any sense or really connect with what's going on with Atrus at all. It really is not adding anything to the story or making the game better in any way. The game as a series better in any way. It feels like what we should have done, even for all 5 games of the Myst series, including URU. It should have always been Atrus's journey, and Atrus should always have been the person to tell you to go and do something. That's been established in every other game. You see a projection of him, and he tells you, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, I need you to go save Riven, I need you to help out and save the new book that I'm creating. In this game, you're not really given that. Instead, you're giving a pretty just obscure choice of wandering around the worlds and doing whatever you want, just mostly to find these journey cloths and solve the mystery of getting backstory to get these totems. When we get all the totems, I imagine we won't really have anything more to this world, really. I don't think we really will. I think this island maybe will have something like pretty shown here, but I wouldn't be surprised if these totems just stay here as we do the DLC. We may get a credits once we get this, and we may get a cutscene, but that's kind of it. And yeah, again, not satisfactory to get what is effectively 3 paragraphs of dialogue and no books. Now, in fairness, if what happened when you beat the main game is that each of these turned into some teleportation to a whole new world that has just a bunch of individualized, bespoke puzzle islands and ages, there might be something interesting to that. It feels like you may get a book here that takes you to a final world that might be slightly interesting too. But I bet if you do even get books for these, they are going to be really, really short, small areas, because even the main game is really short and small areas. We have 2 more books that we need to do, but they are different ages / time frames of the same, well, world, universe, and once we've got that done, we will have done the whole journey path. And then as far as the next DLC, I'm not even really sure what the goal is there, because it's left to be a lot more obscure, and the second DLC is definitely a lot more obscure. It is totally designed in a way that you really would never be able to figure it out without help. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this recording. We went a little long again. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.